guys ever noticed how, let's just take the example of like tequila, how some people want to get naked, make bad decisions. Some people, it evokes violence, you know, I've seen it. Or some people who over abuse it, drink it, and say to themselves, you know what? They get so sick, they're like, I will never, ever touch this demonic fluid ever again for the rest of my life. And then there's some people who will cherish it, they'll hold it as the elixir of life. They're like, you know, my go-to when I'm having a bad day, tequila. I love it. Think about how the biology of each individual, good morning, George, is so differentiated, so different than the next. We're all beautiful little unique snowflakes. And this is the problem we have of why on this journey, either you've been recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, or you've had it for a while, and maybe you've tried things. Maybe you started reading books, looking at the internet, scrolling on the ocean of information, finding little bits and cookies and little treasures here and there, and everything's kind of just scattered out. And for those of you who who've been really trying, right, following instructions that have been given to you, that for people that are in charge of your health, you're finding that you're still confused, you're not really getting very far, right? And for the majority of you, I think what happens is that it's like, well, you know what, I should probably just drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak. You know, I've been trying things, and there's all this so-called holistic things, and nothing's really working, right? I mean, it's when I first started out, that's what happened to me. I already knew when I got my diagnosis, I was like, ooh, there's not much instruction. You know, the instruction that was given was just like technical jargon, and they're like, how are you possibly supposed to ingest all the information from somebody who's looking after you in, what, 5 minutes? And you could already sense that the person's in a hurry because they got to get moving on to the next person. So you're not really left with pure good instructions and education of like, hey, what am I supposed to do? They're just like, well, here's some literature. Here's the problem I have with that literature is it's just it's literature. Let's take it back to what I opened up with here. Tequila makes some people want to take off their clothes and make babies. Some want to fight each other. Some get sick, some don't, some get energized. Like my mom, we would drink tequila back in the day, and I'm ready to vomit in the morning. She's out vacuuming the whole entire house. The problem with this information is that it's compartmentalized, it's boxed up, right? Do you want to know why? Somebody please answer in the comments here why you think that's so. I would say because it's not profitable, but it's necessary to take the time for each individual to find out how does these certain things work with their biology, right? Everybody's biology is different. But you know how much time and money that would take? Isn't it much easier if you just have this little box and you can say, here, we've worked on this box. Just take this box and do everything that's inside this box, and you should be fine. And then the answer becomes, well, if it's not, let's use some sort of, let's say, supplementation of some sorts, you know? Well, look, it's just too difficult for you and everything. We got an even easier way. If they don't just do this right off the bat. You know, it's called metformin or whatever you want to fill in the blank. Just take 3 of these and wake up in the morning and all's fine. You got a headache? You know, take an aspirin. Heck, let's not figure out what the root cause of the headache is. You know, maybe your neck's off. Maybe there's some sort of deficiency, some sort of vitamins you're lacking in your body. Heck, the powers that be always say it all the time. There's a vitamin D deficiency. Women are low in iron. There's all these different things out there, but no one really addresses and gets down to it to the point to say, well, let's try some different things out. You know, when I first started, I was where you were at. Like, I was confused, anxiety, fear. That's probably the weakest point in my life I've ever felt. You know, I didn't know what to do. So slowly by slowly, I had to keep, over the years, keep trying new things, tweaking things, making adjustments, finding out what works, what doesn't. And that's what I've come to find, is that I've known this my whole entire life. Everybody's bodies and biological makeups are different. So what works for one person may not work for the other. But you have to take that initiative, because if you've really taken this situation of type 2 diabetes serious, you're probably at a point where you're like, you know what, I think I'm on my own. Nobody gives a shit about me. I've been dumped. You know, I'm a drop off. You know, the people who are supposed to take care of me, they just dropped me off in the middle of the road and was like, all right, well, go find your way home. So I think that's a good thing, because we have to, damn mosquito trying to eat my finger. My friend thinks you're cute. Oh, thank you very much. I'm an old man. Old man. But yeah, you're probably like me and you're trying to figure out, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Right? That's why I'm here. That's why I've created this channel. George is pinning, well, let me go ahead and pin it. I don't have my phone on me, George. Well, I'll go ahead and pin your comment. Let's get off this treadmill. Pin message. Let me see if I can find my phone. I think I left it over here on the table. I did not. Okay, there we go. All right, so George put a phone number up on the screen there, or he put a comment and I pinned it. I'm on my walk. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but there's a phone number if you guys want to. I just purchased one. I'm only going to do this for a while because I'm trying to find people who are interested in calling in and asking me your questions about type 2 diabetes. So there's a phone number pinned there. It's 909-871-8238. I'm only doing this for a while, guys. If it's not something interesting to you guys, then I'm not going to fuck around. I'll just get rid of it. But I thought that this would be a cool way for you guys to be in contact, to ask me stuff. I mean, goddamn, I wish I had somebody when I was going through all the confusion and everything. So the phone number's there. It's only there for a while, guys. If you guys don't use it, you lose it. It's gone. But anyways, let's get back to the matter here. Yeah, you're all alone. And I say good. Screw it. I'm glad I am, because, you know, here, when I think about it, we all have to take responsibility, right? A lot of us are poor because pretty much, you know, we have rough lives. You know, I grew up poor my entire life. I still am kind of poor to an extent here. But I don't know. I've used my mind, I used my creativity, and I've done things, experiments on myself financially that I've never heard anybody do. I've been able to take off, and I'm going to tie this into type 2 diabetes, but for a lot of you who don't know about my personal life, I figured that when my children were little kids, that I'm never going to get this time back. That would be a regret in my life if I did not spend time and show them things, experiences, expose them to stuff. So I was able to make enough money for about 8 years straight, I think it was, where we would take 3 months off for the year. We'd all load up in my truck, in my camper, and we would just drive around wherever we wanted to go. We had our certain spots by the ocean, so we would spend sometimes 2 months, 3 months just out in the wilderness, fishing and foraging and just sleeping, napping, and exploring things, beautiful things. My oldest kid would go find hollowed out trees and take naps in them in the forest, and we got to dance with Indians and got blessed by a chief by a fire. Shit you would see in a movie. So there was no regrets. The point I want to make is that you're able to manipulate life to your liking. You're in a situation, if you've got type 2 diabetes, you can manipulate it. But it takes fandangling, it takes work, it takes observation. That's all I did. There's nothing special about me, both financially, like I just told you, other than I have the imagination and the guts to put myself out there and and gamble, to sacrifice, say, will this work or will this not work? And not being afraid of failure. And through that courage to be able to do those type of things, I have formulated a life that I've never heard anybody be able to live, right? Like my kid, my oldest told me, Dad, when I tell them the stories about what we did, nobody believes me. Like, how the fuck you went with your father for 3 months out in the middle of the woods and you've been doing it for years, and these experiences, like, that sounds very irregular. Right? So that's the same thing with me in my life with type 2 diabetes, very irregular. I just took bits and pieces and looked at the whole thing and pretended like it was a video, like a puzzle, like a video game. What are levels? What are things that I need to do in order to gain momentum, to gain knowledge? What are the things that I'm not just reading, you know? They call it analysis paralysis. And I think that's one big problem that a lot of you guys may experience. I would experience it too, is that you keep consuming content, information, but you never put it into action. This is like a critical thing I've learned from millionaires, is that millionaires are different. They create habits in their lives. I'll give you guys a little tip. First thing when you wake up in the morning, notice how you're energized, right? This is the time when people who want to make money know that if I apply my morning, let's just say your gusto, your inspiration, it's like a gas tank. And that gas tank, if you notice towards the end of the day, starts to deplete, and that's when you're like, oh, I just want to take a nap and done. But unfortunately, a lot of us apply this in the wrong places. We do certain habits while we're at our prime in the day, while the gas tank is full, and then we don't get any results because these habits aren't very conducive. So critical thinking happens to where you observe knowledge, but you also start to implement in your life right away. I think we're probably going to lose a bunch of people, but I don't give a fuck right here, because this is the whole story of feed a person a fish, you fed them, teach them how to fish, you fed them for life. But the majority of you fuckers probably don't get it. You just want to keep scrolling, and that's fine. I respect your decision. Go ahead, keep scrolling, keep drowning, keep doing the analysis paralysis, because what the majority of you guys are looking for, and you ain't going to get it here, and that's why you'll fail for the rest of your life, is because you're going to chase tips. Basically, tell me what I need to do and shorten it up. Come on, old man, give me the dry, quick summary, something I can, give me a takeaway. I love that. Give me a takeaway. Takeaway is grow the fuck up. Start thinking tactfully for yourself. Own the fact that nobody's fucking coming for you, and nobody gets a get out of jail free card. That's why a lot of people remain poor. They remain confused. They don't progress in life. It's because they're not implementing psychological tactics. They don't understand that you have to get the mindset straight. Once the mindset's in there, you're unstoppable. Now you're a beast. But I know the majority of you in this, because I'm just quite frankly, I'm not here to hold hands, right? I'm here to inspire you, but I'm really here to shake your shit up, to tell you that keep doing what you're doing. I'm confident as fuck that I could sit here for another couple months and you're going to be exactly in the same spot you fucking started in. You will not pass go. You don't get out of jail free card. This is not Monopoly. So until you start the rules of life, and life is a fucking game, from money to laws to education to personal growth, it's a fucking game. In order to play the game, you don't just sit down at Monopoly and start playing it, right? Maybe some of you do, but those who win the game understand the rules of the game. What are the rules? What are my confines? What am I supposed to? What can I do? What can't I do? There's a book I read, Millionaire Mindset, I think it was, something like in that order. I can't remember, but he gave the example of rules of a game, and the rules of the game is, let's just pretend we had two guys, right? And the game was, let's see who can get the most wood, and both guys were given an axe. It was like, go chop wood. Whoever wins, let's say the prize is $1 million. But but all you have is this axe. Well, the first guy just like, okay, he runs out in the forest and starts chopping wood, just using his hands and just chopping away like a madman. I'm gonna win that $1 million. The second guy goes, well, hold up, like, what are the rules? And they're like, well, we're giving you an axe, go chop some wood. That's it. However means you can find, go chop us as much wood as you can. Well, that second guy might go running through the forest instead of just swinging at the first tree he finds. He may stumble across a farmer or something, or a guy there with a chainsaw and say, hey dude, I'll tell you what, I'll trade you this axe if you give me that gas and that chainsaw, and I'm on a thing where I can win a lot of money, and I'll share a portion with you. Say I'll give you 5%, just loan me that chainsaw just for a few hours. He goes down to the forest and fucking wrecks it. He comes back with cords and cords of wood. At the end of this game, we come by and we found a contestant number 1. He maybe felled about 5 trees. He's sweaty. He's got blisters on his hands. You see where I'm going with this? It means that you understand the rules of the games. And it's not necessarily cheating. It's that, hey, maybe it's information that somebody didn't share with you. I mean, God damn it, people. Type 2 diabetes is a serious fucking situation. And I think a lot of people, you know, let's just end right here. Like, you should get away from this channel. You should hang up now, not like, subscribe, unfollow. In fact, if you're the type of person that thinks that, well, we're just going to take some pill, or we're going to do this momentary thing and all is going to be well, they have stuff designed for you for that, right? You could go eat whatever you want, go back to a regular lifestyle, and just keep living life, enjoy life. I'm not knocking it or anything. There's no right. But the rest of you who are like, dude, I'm tired of the Kool-Aid. I'm tired of being lied to, and I understand that it's my fault. That's like one of my personal superpowers. When something goes bad, it's nobody else's fault. I just didn't ask myself, what are the rules of the game? Right? Yes, someone did outperform me. They just understood the rules of the game, and they had a little bit more experience than me. But they asked the right questions. They absorbed information, and they immediately put it into action. They weren't sitting there compartmentalized from the box, right? The little sandbox. We've all been raised like in a sandbox, symbolically speaking. And the majority of us get stuck in the confines, even though there's no gates or nothing. There's just this little line, this four-cornered, four-sided sandbox. And most of us have had our imagination murdered. They've killed your curiosity because you're stuck in that little sandbox. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. No one's telling you have to stay in that sandbox, but your mental prison is that this is what I have to work with, and here's what I got to do. You never macro out. You never zoom out of the whole situation to look around you to say, well, what exactly is going on? How did I get here? What is this information I'm being given? Can I trust it? You know, I find it fascinating that so many people are distrustful, let's say, of like the government and stuff like that, what people are doing. But many people still vote for individuals. They still play the game, never understanding what the rules are or the implications of what they're supporting. And the other thing I notice is a lot of us like to bitch and complain. You know, content unlike mine, unsexy like mine, who shoots for more resolution, for more problem solving, answers basically. The majority of you, I know you don't want to. As soon as we get doomsday stuff and we start bashing and yelling and screaming about what's fucked up and how there's, you know, these assholes have control over us and everything's screwed up, you know, some sort of, you know, what do they call that? What do they call that, George? It's like clickbait. You know, we're all gonna die, doomsday, everybody's in it. And I've noticed the majority of people around me love to talk, and they're very knowledgeable about the problems that we have in life, including type 2 diabetes. Very fucking educated. Oh my God, can you believe this is happening? Can you believe this is happening? Look at all this stuff. What's going on? But then when we look at the what is the answers? Now we understand the problems, but what's the conclusion? What is the antidote to this problem that we need? How do we solve this? That's when people don't want to sit down. They know so much about what's fucked up in the world. I'll bring it back to money, you know? A lot of people are like, I'm broke and it's unfair what the 1% are fucking doing. And then, You see somebody get good results. They'll make really good money. The first thing everyone does is instead of congratulating them and learning from them, like think about that example of the game, right? That's what I consider myself here. The game was, if you observe these two people chopping wood, you would probably say, well, look at this asshole. He went and got the chainsaw and all this shit, and he won the $1 million. Like, you would bash him and say, yeah, fucking asshole. Look, and now he's a millionaire and I'm still poor. Hey, you owe me, right? Can you give me some money? You have more wealth than I do. But just think about it. What would happen if you took this individual who was wealthy and successful and say, well, how did you get here? Can you teach me? Instead of asking them for $1, which money isn't shit, I consider that all the cookies and information that's out there on social media on type 2 diabetes, remission and all that stuff. It's just shit. The majority of it, not all of it, but it's crap. It doesn't give you anywhere, and it's $1 in the bucket instead of fucking filling the bucket up, right? Well, think about your life if that person was able to teach you how they did this, why they did this. Why did you go get the chainsaw? Well, nobody told me I couldn't, right? And that person would probably tell you, you got to think outside the box. We're told this all the time. Think outside the fucking box. Why do you think that statement exists? So I'm the guy who thought out of the box. I'm the guy who fucking sacrificed himself and said, hey, I have trust issues with everything and everybody. I'm not going to watch some fucking little cute piece of content with some tip and then take it as life fucking, oh, I'm going to be a vegan or a carnivore or a ketovore or paleo or whatever the fuck it is. No, fuck that. I'm going to go try it myself to see if it actually works. So I'm the guy here standing in front of you here today. You take it or leave it. I don't give a fuck. I'm still searching and will continue to search for the people who actually want real results from a real person. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. If you are type 2 diabetic, you should consult your doctor. But for those of you who think that you're just gonna come in, the sandbox people, go play in the sandbox, enjoy your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But those of you who want to venture out in the woods and get thick in the weeds about this shit, and you want to learn, you want to actually do something about your situation instead of putting it off into people who don't give a fuck about you, then you're in the right place. That's what I'm fucking offering. That's why and I'm sticking my fucking money where my mouth is. My mouth where my money, whatever. I don't fucking know. I fucked that thing up. But anyways, that's why I went and bought this fucking phone. I bought a phone so that I can find those, that we can talk. You can ask me questions. I've been working diligently and really fucking hard on a new channel where I'm going to spill the beans on. I'm going to give a free course of every fucking thing that I've done. Nothing held whatsoever. But let's bring it back. Can I promise you that you're going to get the same results that I did? No. But you can see a lot of the tools that are going to help you to navigate your process. You're going to have to learn your shit. Right? Let's take it back to what I opened up right off the beginning. Notice how tequila will make some people naked and pregnant or wanting to inseminate something, whereas others want to fight, right? They get violent. Some people get sick. Some people are like, oh my God, this is the elixir of life. It's the same substance. It's just different people, different biology. But the difference between what I have is I can offer the tools. I can offer the roadmap. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be snowing on your day when you're driving down the road, right? Doesn't mean that. And it depends what type of vehicle you have. What's your experience driving that vehicle? You're basically going to become a mechanic. I like this. You're a fucking mechanic of your biology, of your body, your brain. You have become so our bodies, I always explain this like it's like a car, right? To me, you're driving your car and you have no fucking clue what level the batteries are, how fast you're going, how much gas is in the tank, because all your body has right now is a pair of feet that are like tires, a pair of eyes and an intent like a steering wheel and a gas pedal and a brake pedal, and you're just moving along, but you have no idea what's going on under the hood. That's when blood labs, a continuous glucose monitor, I know a lot of you don't like what I'm saying, I don't fucking care. A glucometer, some way to put a dipstick in the motor to find out, hey, should I change the oil? Do we need to load up on gas? What happens when I use unleaded regular compared to unleaded supreme gas, right? How does my motor run, right? So you're going to become a self-mechanic of the biology of your body, and that gives you the tools to go, okay, well, I'm going to try this out. Let's see what the effects are. Try a different effect or a different style of something, and then you get to, oh, well, that worked, right? So a trial and error of things. These are the tools that will make you unstoppable, and this is how you'll achieve what I've achieved, is type 2 diabetes remission according to the American Diabetes Association standards. Also verbal from my doctor, who said, look, you did it, right? And this is since I started this journey in 2023, so I know what I'm talking about. I have the experience, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go when you guys are. That's why I've got this phone. That's why I've got an email. That's why I'm offering one-on-one with you guys for a short amount of time. I want to learn from you. In the description below, there's a bunch of goodies. You guys can email me personal questions, things like, I know a lot of men they don't really have the I don't give a fucks like I do to ask questions publicly about, say, erectile dysfunction. Send me an email. I'll tell you about my personal experience. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. Go in that link and get started, son. Go get you some, son, because I'm only here for a little while longer. I'm going to shut this channel down when I feel damn ready to, but majority of it, like I said, let's end with this because I only got a few more minutes left here. I've realized that a lot of fucking people, you got to think of the psychology of it. And I may get in trouble here, but I don't really give a fuck. Many people have gotten type 2 diabetes from neglect. I was one of them. I was drinking like a fish. I was eating relatively healthy, you know, but I was definitely abusing my fucking body, thinking that this will never happen to me, right? So I have to logically think that I'm trying to help a bunch of people who don't want any fucking help. They got type 2 diabetes for a reason. It's because they were dumb, right? And I mean that, dumb. I was dumb. They're neglectful. I was totally neglectful. They're not realistic. They're like, yeah, I'm Superman, right? Well, that's what happens to other people, not me, until it happens to you. But I know that the majority of you have the characteristics and the psychological habits and nature of not doing anything about it. And that's fine. As I said, this channel, this broadcast, I am not for you. I'm making way for the people who actually give a shit and want to learn from somebody real. I'm not a guru. I'm not a doctor. Nothing special about me other than I took my situation very, very fucking seriously. And I've actually tried real life stuff, not reading books, gone to college, you know, Harvard, no, school of fucking life, hard fucking knocks. I got real fucking results, and these are the results that I feel, and I know I already have, because a lot of people on my other channel have stated, dude, I did what you said, and hopefully they ran it by their doctor, because again, this is not medical advice. I have to protect myself, right? They've gotten real results. Some of them have claimed, dude, you've changed my life, and that feels fucking wonderful. But there's not a lot of you guys out there, so. All right, let's slow this down. I got a bunch of shit to do. So yeah, those of you who want, if you guys need some help, I'm here for you. But I'm not here to promise. I'm not going to go hunt down and kill you a fucking unicorn. I'm not going to fart rainbow glitter out of my asshole, right? I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to give you the bits and pieces to steer you in any other direction. Like, I know that I'm not sexy because, as in martial arts, you know, I think it's a wisdom in martial arts. The first thing is, once a opponent sends a strike to you, you want to conserve your own energy. You want to deflect the energy, and you want to push it back on the other person. That's how you wear them out and you win the fight. In this case, I'm not trying to fight anybody or ruin them, but the logic, the wisdom, the true wisdom is to understand what's coming from you, the words, the feelings, the thoughts, and to put it back on you to repeat what you've just said so that you can hear yourself, what you're saying, how you're thinking, and to have that change around to say, oh, okay, we need to get that aha moment where you're like, okay, now things are starting to make sense. And I'll bring it back to where I first started. Nobody's going to do this fucking shit because it's not profitable and it takes a lot of time and money, right? Nobody's going to do this, but that's what needs to be done. Face it, like, I was just thinking about this the other day. When I was diagnosed, the person that was responsible for me, I would have made me take off your shoes. I want to see your toes. Do you have any like abscesses or anything happening on your feet? Because that's what happens with type 2 diabetes. How's your vision? No, let's go get your eyes checked out. Didn't have my eyes checked out. Didn't have my feet checked out. Maybe I should have looked for skin tags and discoloration on the back of my neck, right? Maybe a blood draw, not just an A1C and a fasting glucose test. Maybe we should have went really, really deep in the ALT, triglycerides, everything. And then maybe I should have been sat down and say, hey, look, I'm going to let you out of this room right now. But do you understand what's happened to you? You know, do you need, I think you need some things that you can do right here, right now. Like, for instance, I'll just give you a quick one, Mr. Adrian Babashoff, type 2 diabetes guy. If you're hungry and you're driving home, dude, stay away from that fast food. Start cooking at home, you know, for yourself. Start maybe trying a low carb diet, right? Let's check in with you again immediately. Let's like make some lifestyle changes, bro. And why don't you come back and see me in about 4 weeks or 6 weeks or so, and let's do another blood lab, and let's check your sugars and everything, see where you're at, right? And this is going to be a journey for you. You're going to have to work really hard. Give you to have instilled in me some sort of direction and some sort of something, you know. But no, it wasn't there. Anyways, yeah. The feeling I get is nobody really gives a fuck, you know, and that's fucking sad. Because if you don't give a shit about you, what the fuck do you think the world's gonna think about you, feel about you? You know, we're in a world right now where nobody gives a shit about themselves, let alone the world around them, the people in it and everything. And that's an ugly fucking life. I think what I'm teaching here, and I don't give a fuck how that sounds, this is an awakening period. This is a moment in your life where you've been fucking shook, where it came in and said, look, motherfucker, you fucked up. You've got to this place, you're broken. Doesn't mean you can't be fixed, but you're fucking broken. You need to see life in a whole different way now. We need to get a mindset. If that doesn't shift you over, which I know some people, I have friends right now who are literally, how can I say safe on YouTube? They're unliving, you know? They're slowly unliving. Is that still a fucking terminology? But yet the fear of being unlived still doesn't help them to make drastic moves. They're still drinking alcohol. They're still doing these things. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. And I know a lot of you guys, even like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Deplatform me, motherfuckers. Even death doesn't make you switch your gears. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But those of you who are ready to fucking really fight back and take the power in your own hands, that you understand why and all the shit I've just told you this evening is real, then fucking welcome to the type 2 diabetes brotherhood. This is the no fucking bullshit zone. So with that, I tried to get all tough right there. Did you see that? Did it look real? No, I really meant that. This is the fucking no bullshit zone. So if you're ready, guys, come on, pick up the fucking, next time I go live, call in with your questions. Stop being such a fucking sappy, whiny little scared butt. You have somebody willing to help you. I don't know, maybe that was mean. Anyways, I gotta go. I gotta start writing. I'm working on this fucking, it's gonna take me probably a month to write this whole free course out. And by the way, we're moving from all the channels I have. We're gonna get rid of every single one of them and start with the T2 Diabetes Dad. That will be the new channel. There's nothing on it right now. I know a few of you have already subscribed to it, but there is a video actually we'll be filming this week. The very first video, the opening video, kind of explains a lot of what I just said today. That's gonna go on there. It's just been taken, guys, I'm tired of AI slop. I'm tired of just slop in general. So I've been working really diligently to give a very massive, thick, dense piece of content as to why you should trust someone. Like, what have I done? You got to do shit, right? Show me the fucking money. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on these videos to show you the fucking money. So do what you got. Either stay, come along, stay. Doesn't matter to me. But let me know, where's my peeps? Come get some, son.